and I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you. And the talk today is on unblocking by Declarer. And this was a topic we covered about a month ago, but I did notice that on some of these hands, not everyone found the right line to successfully unblock. So I'm going to look at a couple of the hands and then look at a couple of further examples and try and see if we can figure out the best way to play these. So let's have a look at this hand here. It was board 1, played on the 8th of January, and here I've got these. You can go to the Pinnerbridge website and look at this yourself. And here I've got the recommended bidding at the bottom, which was 2 no trump, 3 no trump. In the bottom right hand corner it shows the makeable contracts, and this is saying that North-South can make 4 no trump or any of these other contracts as well. But 3 no trump was a recommended contract. And if we switch down to look at the actual traveller, you can see that nearly everyone did play this in 3 no trump, but the majority went down. Most people didn't make it. Okay, so only 4 people made 3 no trump, and so I wanted to look at this one to see how it went and how it should have gone. Okay, so what I've got here on the next screen is actually how it was played, and we'll look at it 3 different times it was played. And the only thing I've done is I've removed players' names from here because I don't want to embarrass anyone, show them, you know, what went wrong. You know, I don't want to embarrass anyone by showing them that they didn't play well. This was how it was played 3 times. So this was the bidding on nearly all the tables: 2 no trump, then 3 no trump. And the opponents are likely to lead a heart on this one. We'll see why in a minute. And just take a minute and count your top tricks here. Count your top tricks you hope to make. So we've got 1 spade, the ace of spades. We're going to make at least 1 heart. I hope you can see that. And we're hoping to make 5 diamonds. Okay, and then 2 clubs. The problem on this hand is the diamond suit, because the diamond suit has got a blockage in it. Okay, and to make 5 diamonds, obviously the way to do this is you need to take the ace and the king first, then you need to cross over somehow to dummy. And dummy has got very few entries here. Okay, so this was how a number of people played it. They, on the lead of a heart, they won the first trick with the 10. Okay, that looks great. Now they try to play the diamonds. So they play the king and the ace. And now, to cash the last 3 diamonds, they need to get to dummy. And that's the problem. Because if they lead, okay, they can play a club if they like, but eventually when they play a heart, if we bring up the 4 hands at this point, we'll see that when a heart is played, that's the only possible entry to dummy. West will take their king, and now you have no entries to dummy. You cannot get there. All right, so whatever happens now, the opponents will, you can get in, you might play a spade, but the opponents will be able to take their tricks. They can take 1 more spade here. Okay. As it turns out at this point, East, having won the king of spades, has to lead a diamond. So you will make those diamonds at the end, but you won't make your contract. You'll only make 8 tricks on this hand. Okay. How should this have gone? Well, let's have a look at how it was played successfully. This time I haven't removed the people's names because there's nothing to embarrass them about. But when a heart is played here, Declarer has to see the problem that's coming up in diamonds. And the way to make this contract is not to take the 10 here, but to take the ace. Take it. You're wasting the ace if you like, but you're guaranteeing now that you'll be able to get to dummy. You've got the queen, jack of hearts in dummy, so you know you'll be able to get there by playing that suit later on. Okay, so now it's relatively easy. You start off by unblocking your ace, king of diamonds. Okay, and now you can lead your hearts towards dummy, and it doesn't really matter whether they take their king or not. If they take it now, whatever they play back, you'll regain the lead, and at some point you'll play your last heart and you'll get to dummy and cash those last 3 diamonds. Okay, so not many people found that play. It's rather it's a rather clever play, if you like, but it's a way to make those 5 diamonds in dummy by unblocking the diamonds, but you need to make sure you've got an entry back over to the north hand. Any comments on that one? Any questions about it? Perhaps this is easy once you can see it. It's one of the ones maybe it's very tempting to win that first trick with a low heart in dummy, but it's a false prize, if you like. I thought I'd have a look at it being played another time where Declarer managed to make it. And here Declarer managed to make it, I think, really due to a defensive error. So this was one of the times it was played. And West was on lead here against 3 no trump. To start with, West has made an unusual opening lead of the 8 of hearts. I don't know if you can see, the 8 of hearts is actually your second highest card, and it's an unusual lead. Normally you would lead your 4th highest, and the lead of a low card would tend to suggest you've got an honour in the suit. So, you know, if that was you, do look up your opening leads, because that was a mistake there. Declarer here again made the mistake of winning that one with 10. They played their diamonds. Okay, and now they played their heart, and now, unfortunately, West made the second mistake of not taking the king there. Okay, I hope you can see that you really want to be taking your your king there. There can't be any merit in playing low here, and so unfortunately, what happened was Declarer was able to get to dummy with a jack and was able to take her 3 diamond tricks there. Okay. And then they played their clubs, their spades, and they made actually 11 tricks on that one. Okay, so if you like, you were lucky there as Declarer, even though you made a mistake. The defense didn't take advantage of it. Okay, so any questions on that one?
Yes, Tony.
Yeah.
On the previous one. Sorry about the previous one.
Yeah.
If they had led a diamond instead of a heart, then they could have defeated it, could they?
I don't think so, because with the hearts as they are, you can always gain an entry to dummy. You will always be able to get to dummy if you, for example, if you lead a low heart towards dummy. So if they lead a diamond, you'll take your ace king and then lead a heart, and you'll always be able to get to dummy. So I don't think there was any lead that could have defeated me.
I'll
bring up the GIB link. You can do this yourselves, and they're confirming it doesn't matter what you lead. Declarer should always be able to make one trick, one over trick there. Okay. Any other questions? The other hand I wanted to look at, which was also played that same day, also on the topic of unblocking, was board 13. And this was the recommended bidding on it. 1 heart, possibly, I think a number of Easts overcalled with that hand, which is okay, I guess. It's not a great spade suit, only 1 honour, but a lot of you did bid 1 spade. And then maybe 2 clubs. And North really has got a fairly balanced hand with 15 points. So 2 no trump is a recommended bid there, leading to 3 no trump. And as you can see from the bidding little grid there, 3 no trump should be able to make here. If we scroll down to the results, we can actually see that it was played in a variety of contracts here. Most of the time it was played in 3 no trump, and most of the time it went down. Went down 3 tricks on a number of occasions. 2 people made 3 no trump +1, and then there were some other contracts like 2 hearts, 4 hearts, and 2 spades by east. But again, this is a tricky hand to play, involving unblocking in order to make 3 no trump. So I'm going to again have a look at this hand, played 3 different ways to see how you can make 3 no trump. And again, these are hands that was actually played, so we can actually see how it went and where Declarer went wrong. Okay, so this was the one time it was played. The bidding here was 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 no trump, 3 no trump, and East was on lead, and East led the 4 of spades on this one. And let's stop for a minute, and you can count your top tricks and also count how many tricks you hope to make all together in each suit. So let's have a look at that. In clubs, you don't have the ace, but you're hoping to make 4 tricks, aren't you? Okay, you're going to lose 1, you hope to make 4. Diamonds is a little unclear. We've got 1 top trick. Hearts, we've got 3 top tricks, possibility of more there. And we've got 1 top trick in spades. So the key to this is really trying to make your hearts, trying to make your clubs. And the first question for you, when they lead the 4 of spades, is what should you play from dummy? Should you play the 5 or the 10? Or doesn't it matter? Anyone like to say any, volunteer anything?
10.
Oh, Steve, how can you say that? It's actually nearly always right in a situation where you have 2 equal honours, 1 in your own hand and 1 in dummy. It's nearly always right to play low. In other words, because I have the jack and the 10, it's normally right, unless there's some special thing you need to think about entries, it's normally right to play low here. What that means is that if you play low here, you're guaranteeing yourself 2 spade tricks. Because if I play low, which is what Declarer did here, if the king appears, or the queen, now I can guarantee a second trick for myself if I play the ace. Can you see that? Now I'm left with the queen, with the jack and the 10, and I'm going to make another trick.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'd made the mistake of playing the 10, and that lost, and then they played the king, now I might not make a trick with the jack on its own. Okay. So that's an important principle. With equal honours, it's normally right to play low from dummy. Okay. So that lead has actually, although we're a little vulnerable in spades, it's actually guaranteed us a second trick here. So that's what Declarer did, which was very good so far.
Good job, Mara, playing it.
And then, this is what Declarer did on this hand. They started off playing the hearts. Now, you need to have a little think about this. There are 2 suits you need to worry about here, because they both have blockages in them. And that is to say, when I mean that a suit is blocked, what I mean is you can't just take the tricks off the top. In hearts, we need to unblock in hearts, in other words, play the ace queen and then get back to our hand to take the king. And the clubs also is blocked in the sense that if we start with clubs, we may need to get back to dummy to take the rest of the tricks. So Declarer on this one started off with the hearts. He played the ace queen, but can you see that it's gone wrong now? Because by playing the hearts first, you have knocked out the only entries to the south hand that are guaranteed. Maybe you'll have an entry in clubs, but maybe not. And in fact, this is what happened. Declarer now turned their attention to clubs. They played the king first, which was good, winning in the shorthand. But the defence didn't take their ace. So now Declarer is sort of stuck off, is isolated from dummy. If I bring up the four hands now, you can see that Declarer now may never get to the south hand to take those club tricks. When they play a club, East has to take it, but now North can never get to dummy. So on this hand, Declarer now played a spade, the queen. They took that one, although it gives Declarer a trick with the jack here. But Declarer is still not going to make this. They took their ace, and you see there's no way really to dummy now. When they play the diamonds, East takes the diamonds and then cashes the two spades. And you end up just making 6 tricks, end up down 3 on that one. Okay, let's have a look at the second time it was played here. And this time the bidding was slightly different. It went 1 heart, 1 spade. South made a negative double, which is quite reasonable there, to show the 2 unbid suits, both minors in this case. But North rebid 1 no trump. He got I think 15 to 16 points, and she got a spade stopper too, and then they ended up in 3 no trump. And this is how it went the second time round. Again, they led a low spade. Declarer did well to play low from dummy, and they beat the king with the ace. Now Declarer started on hearts, but then I think they had a change of heart if you don't mind the pun, because they realized that, if I now take the other heart, I may not be able to get to dummy. So the suit you actually need to worry about playing first here is the clubs, and that's what they did. They switched to the king of clubs, okay, and now they can play the clubs. They forced out the ace already, but in any case, they've got an entry with the ace of hearts still there. So East now took their queen of spades. They tried the queen of diamonds, and actually North did very well here not to take that, because if they now carry on with another diamond, North takes that, and now, I don't know if you can see, dummy is actually good. So Declarer just claimed at this point, because they've got the entry to the clubs, and they've made 10 tricks there. Okay, so well done if that was you. I will look at it just one last time being played. Here again it was 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 no trump, and this is how it was played the third time. And to start with, East has made an unusual lead of the 8 of spades. That's the third highest. So again, if that was you, do brush up on your leads. It will confuse your partner if you lead the 8 in that, because they'll think, could that be 4th highest? Could it be something else? Very hard to tell. Anyway, that's what happened. South here made the slight mistake of playing the 10 of spades here, so they may not necessarily make 2 tricks now. Okay, I hope you can see that now if they're playing it this way, you may make a trick with the jack or you may not. It depends. If East were to lead and lead a spade, your jack would be trapped and you'd only make 1 spade trick. Anyway, that's what happened. Then they started on the hearts, and again, once they do this, they're really done for now. They then played the club here, and East did very well not to take the ace. Okay, now Declarer stuck, isolated from the clubs again. They tried to get there maybe with a diamond, but East got in, played the king, played the queen. On this occasion, it gives Declarer a trick with the jack. Okay, but again, North cannot get to dummy anymore. North, whatever they play here, they'll take their ace, and now East can take the queen of diamonds and the last 2 spades. And again, I think it went down 3 tricks on that one. Okay, so the key to that one was realizing that there was a need to unblock and thinking about the order in which you need to play the suits. So I wanted to look at a couple of hands here. It's actually the same hand but with a different lead, where you need to have a little bit of thought about which order you're going to play the suits in. So let's assume you've opened 1 no trump, your partner bids 3 no trump, and they lead the king of spades, and down comes dummy. And let's take a moment and count how many tricks you hope to make all together here. So take a minute and tell me how many you've got.
Oh. Six top tricks?
Well, you can count those top tricks, but assuming you're able to take all the tricks that you can, how many tricks do you hope to make altogether? I mean, we've got 1 spade, haven't we? And we've actually hoped to make 4 heart tricks, because we've got the ace king and then the queen jack. We've got 1 diamond, and how many clubs do you hope to make?
How many what?
Clubs.
5.
5.
Yeah. We hope to make 5. What's tricky on this hand is that you've got blockages in 2 suits. Your hearts are blocked, so you can't just rattle off 4 hearts, and your clubs are similarly blocked. You can't just rattle off 5 clubs. You have to think very carefully about the order in which you're going to play this suit. Now, let's suppose we win that first trick with the ace. We have 2 suits to worry about, the hearts and the clubs. Now, which suit should we play next?
Clubs.
Clubs.
Let's try and think about this, and I think these hands sometimes take a little bit of thinking about them. They're not quite straightforward. Let's what has happened on this hand is that by them leading the king of spades and they've knocked out our ace, we now have no entries to the north hand except for the hearts. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So you need to think about unblocking in clubs first, the ace king, so that we can then use the ace king of hearts to get to the last clubs. Or another way of thinking about it is just thinking about what will happen if. That's a really good way to plan the hand. So if anyone was thinking of playing the hearts here, just think about it for a minute. If you were to start off with the ace king of hearts, can you see that you've now cut yourself off from dummy? Because you'll never be able to get to those clubs. So yes, those of you who said clubs were exactly right. We start off with the top 2 clubs, okay? Then we cross to dummy to take our 2 hearts, unblocking that. Now we can take the remaining clubs. Okay? And we still have an entry to the south hand, which is the ace of diamonds, to take our remaining hearts. So that's how we make our 11 tricks here. In the end, the opponents will get in and take the last 2 tricks, and we'll make our 11 tricks on that one. Okay? Suppose, though, this is the same hand now, but suppose there's a different lead. This is exactly the same hand, but let's suppose the opponents lead a diamond on this hand. We'll win the first trick, and now which suit do we need to go after?
Heart.
What do the rest of you think? Well, that diamond has knocked out the only entry to the south hand outside of the club suit. So now the order in which you need to take the suits is different. And the way, again, I think is a good way of thinking about it is what if I take the clubs first, the ace king, now you can see that you won't have any entry to take your 4 hearts. Okay? So now, because the lead was different, because they knocked out a different ace, you need to play them the other way around. You need to play the hearts first. Okay, now you play the hearts, and now you cross over to the clubs. You can take your top 2 clubs, and then before you play your spade, of course, you need to take your 2 hearts here. Then back to the spades, and again you can now take the rest of the tricks. Take your 11 tricks here. So these hands, I think, take a little bit of working out. Do take your time if something like this comes up where you've got blockages to consider. And I think trying to think what will happen if I do this before you play. What if I play this suit first? What will I then play next? Okay, and that does take a little bit of planning. So don't be afraid to take a little time if that happens today. Any questions on any of that, anyone? That was all I wanted to look at. As you can see, these are sort of very nasty hands in the sense that they're very easy to play if you do play them the right way, and if you play them the wrong way, you'll go down, or you won't be able to make the most tricks, and you'll see all these winners, but no way of getting there.
Tony,
yeah,
is this just no trump hands?
No, it's not. So it also applies in suit contracts where you may have limited entries and you need to think about the order in which you play the suits in order to make the most out of them. So it can happen in suit contracts as well. Yeah. Any other comments or questions on that? If you're all happy with that, I will end the call there, and we've got the game starting at 2 o'clock. If anyone is stuck today, do let me know. Call the director, but otherwise we'll be starting at 2 in both games. Anyway, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Tony.
I'll end
Thank you, Tony.
the meeting there, and we'll see you online.